Hi, my name is Gretchen and I'm going to be walking through this session today. Before we begin, I have some information for you and I'm going to read it to make sure I cover everything. You probably already have a good idea of why we asked you here, but let me go over it again briefly. We're asking people to try using a website that we're working on so we can see whether whether it works as intended. The session should take about an hour. The first thing I want to make clear right away is that we're testing the site, not you. You can't do anything wrong here. In fact, this is probably the one place today where you don't have to worry about making mistakes. As you use the site, I'm going to ask you as much as possible to try to think out loud, to say what you're looking at, what you're trying to do, and what you're thinking. This will be a big help to us. Also, please don't worry that you're going to hurt our feelings. We're doing this to improve the site, so we need to hear your honest reactions. If you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I may not be able to answer them right away, since we're interested in how people do when they don't have someone sitting next to them to help. But if you still have any questions, when we're done, I'll try to answer them then. And if you need to take a break at any point, just let me know. You may have noticed the microphone. With your permission, we're going to record what happens on the screen and our conversation. The recording will only be used to help us figure out how to improve the site, and it won't be seen by anyone except the people working on this project. And it helps me because I don't have to take as many notes. Also, if you would, I'm going to ask you to sign a simple permission form for us. It says that we have your permission to record you, and that the recording will only be seen by people working on the project. Do you have any questions so far?
I do not have any questions so far.
Okay, before we look at the site, I'd like to ask you just a few quick questions. First, what is your split between work and leisure as far as internet usage?
My internet usage is mostly for leisure, though I am required to complete homework assignments online from time to time.
So, what is the rough percentage split between work and leisure?
Probably, I'd say 60% leisure and 40% work.
Okay. What kinds of sites are you looking at when you browse the web?
I am usually on social media sites like Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. I read a lot of news articles from the Huffington Post or WinData or other news websites. I'm also on Google Docs a lot to work on my homework. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And do you have a favorite website?
Your website.
Thanks.
No, I do not have a favorite website.
Okay. Okay, now that we're done with those questions, we can start looking at things. First, I'm going to ask you to look at this page and tell me what you think of it. What strikes you about it, and what site do you think it is? What can you do here, and what's it for? Just look around and do a little narrative. So if you would open the tab to the website.
This tab?
Yes.
Live UVM?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so just narrate what you think it is and what you think about it and stuff like that.
Am I allowed to scroll
Yes,
down?
yeah.
What would you like me to say?
Just narrate what you think about it and what you think the site is for.
I like the picture at the top of the leaves and how when you scroll, it scrolls up. And I like how the background is fixed. And I like the transparency of the white rectangle, this main rectangle. You can see the green background behind it. As far as what the website is for, it looks like it's relating to University of Vermont, or UVM, like a freshman's experience at UVM, and I'm on the homepage, I assume.
Okay, is there anything you don't like?
I don't like the font of this home right here. should be a different font, I think.
Okay, is that it?
This logo in the top left corner as well is a little weird.
Like, be more specific.
Like there's this empty space in the top, in the middle, and there's an ask a question on the right, which looks pretty normal. But there's this giant rectangle on the left, and so it looks like it's unbalanced. Like there's nothing in the middle, there's not really anything on the right, but there's this thing on the left. So maybe if it was centered, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, now that we're done looking at the homepage, I'm going to ask you to do a few tasks. So,
Okay.
we want to learn more about how this site works, so as you go through these tasks, think out loud as you go along to let us know exactly what you're thinking and why you're clicking the things that you are.
Okay.
So, task number 1, can you find a UVM event that has been reviewed?
I need to find a UVM event. So my the first thing I think I should do is look at this navigation bar along the top, because usually that's where you start your browsing, from the top. And I see something called UVM events. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm trying to find a recent event, I believe. So if I'm looking for a recent event, I would look at the top for the most recent event. So I'm guessing it's reverse chronological order. So most recent at the top and the oldest at the bottom. Kind of like Facebook or Twitter does their stuff. So I assume that this candle is pretty recent.
IDI assessment? Did you do that IDI assessment thing? You did it?
So, keep thinking out loud.
Well, I'm reading some text along here, and it says the week of welcome right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that this is from a while ago. So I'm going to go back using the back button in Internet Explorer, my browser. And I'm going to scroll down, and I'm assuming that the newest must be at the bottom. I'm going to assume the bottom right is where it is. So then if I scroll down, I'm not sure what the date of this event was because there's no date listing, but I assume it's the most recent.
Okay. Well, you accomplished a task, so that's basically what I was looking for. So if you want to go back to the home page,
Mm-hmm.
and can you submit a question to the website to get advice about college?
I'm going to go to the Ask a Question thing in the top right. Ask me a question about being a freshman in college at either the University of Vermont. I'm happy to answer any questions that will help lead to a successful school year. So what am I asking a question about?
The task was just, are you able to somehow get to a place where you could ask a question?
Okay, I think so, yeah.
Yes, so good job on that.
Should I fill this out?
If you want to.
I am done filling it out.
Okay, register. Okay, and So if you want to make your way back to the home page. Okay, task number 3 is where can you find tips about being a first-year student?
To find tips, I would assume I'd go to freshman advice because freshmen are first-year students. Let me start out by saying I am not an expert, but I think I have learned a few things or so when it comes to this subject. My first piece of advice relates to living alone for the first time away from home. Even though it may seem hard in the beginning to be virtually by yourself, things will get better with time, I promise. Once you start making friends, loneliness fades away and you are surrounded by your second family and your home away from home. So I am assuming I am in the right place because
Yes,
there's... Okay.
Yes, you are right.
There's a very nice little picture right here.
Okay, so now that you were able to find that, that is actually all of the tasks I have. So I want to say thank you because that is very helpful in making changes for further versions of this website. So if you have any questions at this time, you may ask them.
I do have a question. Is it too late for me to ask something or suggest something about a page I already visited for an earlier task?
No, it can be any question now that we're done with the tasking.
Okay, well, on the page called UVM Events, there should be an option to change the filter, so that way you can either list it by chronological order or you can list it by reverse chronological order or something. It's not really a question.
Okay, well, suggestion. Okay,
Yes.
I will take that into consideration. Also, any other questions before I ask you something?
Will I be required to do this again after changes are implemented?
No, there will be 2 different people testing the next time.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. I was curious about why, when you were looking at events, you would click the actual back arrow on the browser and not the back to images link.
Oh, okay. So if I were to click on this candle, is there a back to images link?
At the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did not see that, I don't think.
Okay. So, would you like to
if
see
I
that?
had seen that, I just would have used that probably, or I would have gone to the navigation bar, but I didn't think about it. I use the back button a lot for browsing other websites, so I am used to it.
Okay. And that also relates to the question about the form. On the form page, you didn't go back to home page even though your cursor was right there after register.
Yes, I read that. I guess I didn't know if the link would work because I saw this little yellow rectangle. I'm not really sure what that is.
Yeah, that is an error. That it works in Firefox, but for some reason it's not in Internet Explorer.
Is it okay if I launch Firefox?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, that's neat. I see what you're saying.
Yes. So that is everything, and I think that's going to be it. So thanks so much for letting us record this test, usability test, and hopefully we can make further changes from here.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.